Cathie Wood was just on TV and she shared her latest thoughts about Tesla stock. She was also asked how many deliveries does she think Tesla will deliver this year. Let's take a look.
Do you expect Tesla to build 2 million vehicles this year? I think it's incredible how they've grown production, and it looks like they can do that. What are your expectations for their growth from here on out?
Well, as you know, we have a 5-year investment time horizon, and we do think the cycle for autos is going to get tougher in here generally. But we think just like last year when electric vehicles were up 69% or 65%, something like that, and gas-powered vehicles down 7% globally, we think we're going to continue to see that share shift accelerate because electric vehicle prices are going to follow their costs down in a way that gas-powered cars cannot. So we think that electric vehicles will be less expensive, and they are better cars than gas-powered vehicles. So we think they're going to take tremendous share. And even if the auto market relapses in here, which we think it could, we don't think electric vehicles will relapse. So we think the 1.8 million for this year, which was Elon said 1.8 to 2 million, they're going to have some shutdowns in the third quarter for maintenance and upgrades, and so he lowered his expectation to the lower end of that range. I think he likes to lower expectations and then beat, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's higher than that.
Based on latest public choice estimate, he's expecting that Tesla will deliver 1.85 million vehicles, basically ending the year with about 500,000 deliveries per quarter. It is certainly fun to look at these estimates that are rather not long term, but really the thing that matters the most currently for Tesla is the Cybertruck, then the refresh Model 3, although the Cybertruck matters a lot more, and then full self-driving after that is the main thing. Although it will take a while for the Wall Street analysts to really buy into that, they want to see results. In the meantime, the next generation vehicle is going to have them really interested in Tesla's stock, assuming that Tesla does not sell full self-driving before it launches the next generation vehicle. I think a lot of Wall Street has, I don't know why, but fairly low expectations for Tesla's next generation vehicle. They are underestimating the Cybertruck, they are underestimating the next generation vehicle, just like they underestimated the Model 3 and then Model Y. It's almost like there's a pattern there. Can you see it?
BNEF, Bloomberg Economy Forum, has voiced concerns about the availability of, cobalt and lithium. And is there enough to continue making electric cars for the masses as some producers like GM are building, massive 200 kilowatt batteries for their trucks? Is that a concern for you at all? Do you think Tesla has the production locked in?
Well, I know very early on they said to their suppliers, if you will build it, we will buy it. So yes, they've been in a preferred position and probably still are.
I need to interrupt here. Cathie Wood was interviewed live there, and when you are speaking live, you need to talk in a way that is less aggressive, and you can't really speak in absolute certainties unless you know exactly what's going on. And sometimes when you're speaking off the cuff, you can easily make mistakes. So I think that's why she said probably, because the answer to that question really is it's not that probably Tesla is getting preferred treatment. Tesla is almost certainly, definitely for sure is getting preferential treatment because Tesla makes the most EVs by far. It's a clear leader, and it will remain a clear leader going forward. So any producer of, for example, raw materials that go into EVs or batteries, the company that they want to talk to the most pretty much is almost always Tesla. There are a few exceptions, of course, and these are somewhat self-inflicted, although these are not really relevant because, as an example, Tesla said that it is going to eliminate rare earths. So if you produce rare earths, if you mine them, then I'm not so sure if you really want to talk to Tesla, because maybe you can get a contract from Tesla, but is it going to last? Maybe not. So there are certainly a few exceptions like that. But these exceptions would not apply to lithium.
They're also very smart. Tesla's engineers are very smart. They are engineering cobalt out of the cars. They're doing it for a few reasons. The supply is uncertain, and it's very focused in, I guess, the Congo, where there are a lot of environmental and governance and social concerns. So they're engineering it out, and they're moving into, and you should say, on lithium, actually, if you look at the price, it went up tenfold in 2 years. And now it's down about 40% from that peak. I think lithium is one of the most pervasive minerals out there. So we don't think lithium is an issue at all, especially now that the Chinese and the Koreans and all of the U.S. OEMs are basically telling lithium miners just build it and we will take it.
If you look at the peak of lithium prices and you compare that to now, we are down actually more than 40%. We are down more than 50% actually. We are now right here, and it used to be here pretty much. Yeah, so this is looking pretty good. And if you follow this closely and you watched most of my videos, you also know that there were some interventions which at first completely failed to keep this price stable, and then eventually it worked, but now the prices are falling again.
And then the other interesting thing is, again, this is Tesla leading the charge, so to speak, in this category. Lithium iron phosphate. So taking out the nickel and other metals that may end up in short supply, especially if we get into very strong cycles. And the lithium iron phosphate is a much lower priced, or will lead to a much lower priced car as well.
Speaking about batteries, there are of course two batteries that we should watch. The 4680 battery in the US, how the progress is going there, and then the CATL M3P battery, which is supposed to be quite helpful in increasing the range, but while keeping the price relatively low compared to other batteries that give you much higher ranges but cost you quite a bit more.
Elon Musk and Zuckerberg may have a cage match fight. Do you take a side in that fight? Do you think Musk is up to the task?
I don't think I have ever seen Cathie Wood side that deep. I think she's strongly not liking this fight. I also, as a Tesla investor, I don't like this fight. I would rather have it canceled. Although as a spectator, I will certainly watch it. I'm not sure I will really enjoy it, but as a spectator, I want to see it. But as a Tesla investor, I hope it never happens.
Whenever he puts his mind to something, I wouldn't bet against him. That's what I'll say. But I did read this morning that he's saying that, or tweeting that he has to probably go for a back operation first for something having to do with his discs. So I would hope that he would wait until he's completely on the mend.
If he does end up actually fighting, I would want him to at least be in relatively good health before the fight. I mean, he had 2 surgeries earlier related to his neck and the spine, and the first one was not a success. It was a failure. You can read more details here if you would like. But I don't know, this would be Elon's 3rd surgery, and I think these 2 surgeries would be quite related to his 3rd one that he would get now if he ends up needing one. This does not scream to me as good health.
We are focused on a few things there. We're focused on the fact that China is exporting deflation. Its PPI down 5.4%. And it is one reason that we think that the world is going to face more of a deflationary period here than I think most people think. It's also very interesting to watch the yuan. I think the government would be stimulating more aggressively if the yen were a little stronger. And it has been weakening, and they're very careful about their currency. So I don't think they're going to be able to stimulate as much as many people might like or expect, because the yuan is showing some fundamental weakness here.
So it's a bit of a mixed bag there from China. It's exporting deflation, which is great for us over here because we want the interest rates to come down. That would prop up all of the stocks, including Tesla stock probably. It will also help consumers purchase vehicles easier. But if China is not doing great, that would also not be particularly great for Tesla in China, and China is a pretty big market for Tesla still. But in the previous video, I went over the latest numbers, the delivery numbers from China for Tesla, and the numbers look great. So maybe Tesla won't be affected that much, or at all perhaps, ideally. Although if the economy is doing bad over there in China, Tesla will feel it. But Tesla can still cut costs, and the refresh Model 3 perhaps. Tesla can cut prices significantly to stimulate the demand if needed.
Tesla CFO Zachary Kirkhorn is stepping down after more than 13 years at Tesla. Curious to hear your reaction, given how long you've been involved in the stock, how long he's been there. Does this give you any pause?
Well, we loved Zach and love Zach and think he will do very well wherever he goes. I know there are rumors out that there are some CEO positions out there which he might like to take. So we will miss him, but his successor has been with Tesla right underneath him since 2018. So he was put through the fires. Remember, in 2018-19, many analysts were saying that Tesla was going bankrupt. And so he's been there, he's gone through the fire, and, it's a tough job. It's a tough job. So I guess 13 years was a really good run for Zach, and can't say enough good things about him and what he did for Tesla. I think he trained his successor well.
That's pretty interesting. I didn't hear about this earlier, that there's potentially a CEO position for someone like Zach to look into and perhaps really consider. Hopefully it's not one of these companies that is about to go bankrupt, like perhaps Lucid. But Zach spent 13 years with Tesla. I wish him the best of luck. He has a lot of money now. If you include all of his options and Tesla stock, it's about $600 million before tax. I assume he will take a break, and then if indeed the rumor is true that he is considering this other CEO position, I wish him the best of luck. And YouTube says you should watch this video next, but if you haven't finished watching this Elon Musk interview, watch this one first. My name is Matt Posius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.